Hey, future IELTS champs. Ready to rock that speaking test? Well, today we're diving deep into a mock IELTS speaking test, just like you'd experience on the big day.
It's like having backstage passes, folks. We'll walk you through each part, sharing insider tips and strategies along the way.
Exactly. Think of us as your personal coaches, here to boost your confidence and help you ace that test.
We've analyzed tons of these tests and know exactly what examiners look for.
So let's jump right into part one, the introduction and interview section. All right, imagine I'm the examiner and you're in the hot seat. Don't worry, I'm a friendly one. Ready? Let's start. Good morning. Could you tell me your full name, please?
My full name is candidate name.
Thank you. And can you tell me where you're from?
I am from candidate's country.
Perfect. Let's move on to work and hobbies. What do you do for a living?
I currently work as a marketing coordinator for a tech startup.
Marketing coordinator. That sounds pretty interesting. What are some of your main responsibilities in that role?
My main responsibilities, they include crafting engaging content for our social media platforms. I also analyze customer feedback to identify areas for improvement. And I collaborate with various teams like the design and development teams to make sure our marketing campaigns, well, that they align with the overall brand strategy.
So you're juggling quite a few things there. Out of all of those responsibilities, what would you say you enjoy the most?
That's a great question. You know, I find all aspects of my job rewarding, but I particularly enjoy the creative side of it. Coming up with those innovative campaign ideas, experimenting with different content formats, and seeing how our efforts resonate with our audience, those are the moments that really energize me.
It sounds like you have a really nice balance of creative and analytical tasks in your role. Now let's switch gears a bit and talk about relaxation. How do you usually unwind after a long day of work?
After a long day at work, I prefer to disconnect from the digital world, and engage in activities that help me recharge. So reading a good book, especially fiction, allows me to sort of escape into different worlds and unwind. Other days I find cooking to be a therapeutic experience. Trying out new recipes and experimenting with different flavors helps me de-stress.
So it seems like you really value taking time for yourself and engaging in those activities that help you relax and recharge. Now, let's dig a little deeper into your hobbies. Can you tell me about a hobby that you're passionate about and why it interests you?
Besides reading and cooking, I'm also passionate about photography. I find it fascinating to capture the world through a different lens, freezing moments in time and sharing them with others. It's a hobby that allows me to express my creativity, explore new perspectives, and appreciate the beauty around me.
Photography is such a wonderful way to express yourself and to capture those special moments. Do you have a particular style or subject you prefer to photograph?
I enjoy experimenting with different styles, but I find myself drawn to street photography, capturing the candid moments of everyday life, the expressions, the interactions, the stories unfolding on the streets. It's all very intriguing to me. It almost feels like I'm documenting a piece of history, however small it may be.
That's a really unique perspective, seeing street photography as documenting history. It sounds like you find a lot of meaning and depth in this hobby. Now, I'd like to ask about something a bit different. What kind of music do you enjoy listening to?
My taste in music is quite diverse. It ranges from classical to indie rock, but I appreciate music that evokes emotions, tells stories, and transports me to different moods and places. I find that music can be a powerful companion, whether I'm working, relaxing, or exploring the city.
It really sounds like you have a true appreciation for the power of music. Tell me, is there a particular type of music you prefer to listen to when you're trying to relax?
When I'm trying to relax, I usually gravitate towards instrumental music, particularly classical or ambient pieces. The absence of lyrics allows me to clear my mind, and the soothing melodies help me unwind after a long day. I find it so much easier to de-stress and let go of any tension when I'm immersed in these kind of soundscapes.
That makes a lot of sense. It sounds like a really calming way to end the day.
It definitely is. I find that taking time for myself and indulging in activities like listening to calming music, it helps me maintain a sense of balance and well-being.
Well, that's fantastic to hear. I appreciate you sharing your thoughts and experiences with me. That wraps up part 1 of our mock speaking test. How are you feeling so far?
I'm feeling good. It's helpful to experience these questions in a simulated environment. It definitely helps build confidence and reduce any anxiety I might have about the actual test.
That's exactly what we're aiming for. Remember, the key is to stay calm, be yourself, and let your personality shine through.
Mhm.
All right, let's move on to part 2 of the IELTS speaking test, the long turn.
In this part, you'll get a topic card with some bullet points to guide your talk. You'll have 1 minute to prepare, and then you'll need to speak for 1 to 2 minutes.
Sounds a bit like a mini presentation, huh?
Exactly. It's your chance to show off how fluently and coherently you can speak for a longer period.
Okay, I'm ready to be the examiner again. Here's your topic card. Describe a time you helped someone. You should say who you helped, how you helped them, why you decided to help them, and explain how you felt after helping them.
Okay, let me just take a minute to gather my thoughts.
No problem. Take your time. I'll let you know when the minute is up.
Thank you.
All right, your minute is up. Whenever you're ready, tell me about a time you helped someone.
Well, a few months ago, I was walking home from work, and I noticed this elderly woman struggling to carry her grocery bags. They looked really heavy, and she was having trouble keeping her balance. So I immediately went up to her and offered to help.
That was kind of you.
She was a little hesitant at first, but I assured her that I was happy to help. So I took a couple of bags from her and walked her home. We chatted along the way.
That's nice.
Yeah, she told me her name was Mrs. Smith, and she lived alone. She'd been to the supermarket to stock up on groceries, but she'd kind of overestimated how much she could carry.
I understand.
I was really glad I could help her. It wasn't a big deal for me, but it made a significant difference to her. When we got to her doorstep, she was so grateful, and I could see how relieved she was. Helping Mrs. Smith made me realize how important those small acts of kindness are. It felt good to know I'd made her day a bit easier, and it reminded me that we should always look out for those around us who might need a helping hand.
That's a truly heartwarming story. Thank you for sharing. It sounds like you really made a difference in Mrs. Smith's day.
Yeah.
Now, for the next part 2, we'll have a short discussion about helping others in general. Are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
Okay, great. So, why do you think it's important to help others?
I think it's important to help others because it creates a sense of community and connectedness. When we help someone, we're not just assisting someone in need, but also fostering empathy and compassion.
That's a great point. It's like creating a ripple effect of positivity.
Exactly. And you never know, you might be the one needing help someday.
Very true, very true. Now, in your experience, what are some of the challenges people might face when trying to help others?
Well, I think one challenge is overcoming our own hesitation or fear of getting involved. We might be unsure how to help or worry about overstepping boundaries. But even a small gesture can make a difference.
That's so true. Sometimes just offering a kind word or a listening ear can be incredibly helpful.
Absolutely. It's all about showing you care and that you're there for someone.
Excellent. Well, that wraps up part 2 of our mock IELTS speaking test. You did a fantastic job. How are you feeling about it?
I feel pretty good. Practicing like this is really helpful for building confidence and getting comfortable with the format.
I'm glad to hear that. Remember, stay calm, focus on communicating clearly, and let your personality shine through. All right, we're back. And now it's time for the final round, part 3 of the IELTS speaking test.
This is where we dig deeper into the topic from part 2 and explore some broader themes.
Exactly. So you talked about helping that elderly woman with her groceries, a wonderful act of kindness. But let's zoom out a bit. What role do you think volunteering plays in society as a whole?
I think volunteering plays a really vital role. It's all about fostering a more compassionate and supportive society. It gives people a chance to give back to their communities and contribute to causes they really care about and make a tangible difference in other people's lives.
Right. It's more than just lending a helping hand.
Exactly. It strengthens social bonds, promotes a sense of belonging, and empowers individuals to actually shape their own communities.
So it's about creating a stronger community as a whole. Now, thinking about the individual, what would you say are some of the benefits someone might gain from volunteering?
Oh, there are so many. It can enhance your skills and knowledge, boost your confidence and self-esteem, not to mention give you a sense of purpose and fulfillment. Volunteering can also open your eyes to new experiences and perspectives and help you build valuable connections.
It sounds like volunteering can be a really enriching experience for everyone involved.
It really is a win-win for the individual and the community.
Now let's flip the coin. What are some obstacles that might prevent people from volunteering?
Well, time constraints are a big one. Lots of people have busy lives, juggling work, family, and other commitments. It can be tough to find time for volunteering.
Sure, I can see that.
Other challenges, maybe a lack of awareness of what opportunities are out there, or even just the difficulty of finding a cause that really speaks to you. Some people might feel overwhelmed by the idea of committing long term.
It's all about finding the right fit, isn't it? Balancing volunteering with everything else going on in your life.
Exactly. Finding a role that matches your interests and skills and the time you have available, that's key to making it a positive and fulfilling experience.
Great points. Now for our final question. Let's look ahead. How do you think volunteering will evolve in the future?
That's interesting. I think technology will play a huge role. Online platforms and mobile apps are already making it much easier to connect with volunteer opportunities. And then there's virtual volunteering, which allows people to contribute from anywhere in the world.
So technology is breaking down those barriers and opening up all sorts of new possibilities.
Definitely. It's empowering people to use their time and talents in ways we never thought possible before.
And on that note, we've reached the end of our mock IELTS speaking test. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling great. This was such a valuable experience practicing my speaking skills, getting comfortable with the format, and figuring out where I need to focus my prep.
That's awesome. Remember, stay calm, speak clearly and naturally, and just be yourself. Show those examiners how well you can communicate.
Don't forget to practice, everyone. The more you practice, the more confident you'll be.
Couldn't agree more. Well, a huge thanks to you for joining us on this deep dive into the IELTS speaking test. We hope you found it helpful.
The pleasure was all mine. Best of luck to everyone out there preparing for the IELTS.
Absolutely. Keep practicing and stay positive. You got this. Until next time, happy learning.